Hey, sorry, can you come to the courthouse? It's on the first floor. My hearing's starting. Okay, bye. Talk to my boyfriend. I'm feeling okay. Who are we waiting for? Um, okay. I mean, what?
I am here around the world and I'm back
Where's
again.
the other parties? Not coming?
Who been asking about me? What's up, y'all?
Join the courtroom in the emails.
Doing it now.
Okay.
Oh, you got food?
It's all good.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got some. I'm good. I was about to die.
You be fine. I think that's Kimberly. Oh yeah, that's Leilani. No, she's not a witness. It's my friend. I'm just saying I don't see anyone that's involved in a case here in the emails too, so I'm confused. We're on the third floor, Shanti. But are they? No, I don't think they're doing any like nothing like that. Just walked right up.
What happened? Okay. Right. No.
He just gave it the over. Just saw it.
All right. Well, it's something we're gonna have to take care of tomorrow because I got a room full of people waiting on me to do this thing, and I can't figure this out right now. I don't know what to tell you.
And,
It's
the,
it's
and, and
not
the
it's
only
not
reason I know this is
showing.
the end of the shift, so that's why I tried to make it as long as I could. Because you always sit in the middle dealing with something. So, just try to figure it out. Because I see them watching the movies, I see them rated. I went back with him and put the overall rating in there. So, still is.
Let me tell.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll look at it tomorrow. I can't. I appreciate you, but I'll look at it. I'll look at it. Thank you, sister dear.
They're doing it. It's not like they're not doing it.
I got it. It's just figured out something on the back end, but as long as they do that overall, that's what I really need. Okay. Where them fans at? Whoa, I got my boots on the ground. Hello, everyone. We're going to be getting started shortly. I know we are about 4 minutes past the designated time. We're just waiting for a couple more folks to arrive and we will get started. Please make yourself comfortable, grab food, drink, all your essentials. Hopefully, we can get through this with the alacrity. I'll be back in a few minutes to set the ground rules of the case for tonight.
You're
And
gonna
then we'll
enjoy
get
it.
started.
You're gonna
All
you
right.
were begging for a civil litigation, wasn't it? You're gonna get it.
Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Whoa, oh, oh, oh. All right, we got the live courtroom up. Hello, Harlem Rose. Hey, Risa. Live courtroom is up. So I have you guys where I can actually see the real jury from the dream world. Oh, I have to turn that fan on real quick. Sorry, y'all. I know that air is. Ooh, in front of these computers, it gets a little hot, y'all. It gets a little hot. Trying to send me in the early menopause, honey. Okay. All right. I have no indicators on my screen, which is just perfect. Can't see shit. Okay. Hey, Ike, you ready for this evening? Ike, hello? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello? Okay. Hi, are you ladies ready for this evening?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And you can hear me
I'm
just
shaking
fine?
off my nervation. We ready.
Okay. So I'm going to go over, once Ike
Mm-hmm.
responds, I'll go over the rules for the evening. I'll bring both of you up to the bench so that we can discuss. Um, it, but just remember to, relax, enjoy
If
the
I need to
roly
be a little bit
poly
more
of it all,
quieter.
and defend your client tooth and nail.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ike, are you here?
So where's
Yep.
Donna at or
Okay. I
Yep.
was
what
saying
Can
is
you
how
hear
it?
me?
you yeah, now I can hear you. I was asking how you doing.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
good.
blessing.
I'm tired. Been running all day.
So is anyone gonna be present
Understood.
to
How you?
read what is
I'm
going
good.
on
I'm
or
good. Is JB joining you? Are we waiting for JB?
Oh yeah. Well, we don't have to wait for her per se if we need to go ahead and get started. But if she'll join, she will be joining. She's in the, on the plane right now.
Where it go?
Okay. So we can wait until 7:30 because I still
this is
have some more
definitely an outfit code.
technicals to handle on the
Oh,
technical side, but the real jury is here, as you know.
Where you from? It's a little
And
bit.
then I'll call you both up to the bench to go over the rules of engagement for this evening, okay?
okay. We may have to start without her. And she'll just join us. She's like deep in the queue. We didn't get her the mileage she needs. But yeah, we can get started.
Man, I need one, man.
Just call me up there whenever you want us to approach a bit. I'm listening.
Okay. Um, Counselor, do you need more time for any other witnesses to appear? We can extend to 7:30, the latest.
I'm ready. Let's get started.
Okay.
Because I'm not even sure if the ones who said they would be here are gonna show up. But I think the witnesses we have right now, and granted Chimera, he's in the Zoom call.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're good to go.
Okay, perfect. All right. All right, so we're gonna have to do it like this because for some reason all my indicators have disappeared from my screen, and I don't want to have to pop my head and fly back in. So we're gonna try to go like this. Is that okay with everyone? Can everyone hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Plaintiff, counsel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Both counsels, please approach the bench. We're going to review the rules for engagement for this evening.
Can you make sure you're shouting in the courtroom so that I could hear you though from back there and not from your
Well,
display?
Right. That's why I was asking if you guys can hear me because my user interface has just disappeared. I don't know. Let's see this. Do me a favor. I'll go back over to where you were. Let me see if this works. Okay. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Can you hear me now? Is that better?
I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Hear her? You can hear her from here because I
Yeah.
can't. Okay, I'll just listen from the video. I can hear myself too.
Okay.
Oh, that's me.
Yes.
You-
If you're in the Discord and in City, just please mute the Discord. Um, Otherwise we're going to get double talk and feedback, and it's going to be awful for the
yeah,
live
sorry.
jury working and the technology of it all. Okay, you two. Rules of engagement for this evening. Both of you have submitted all of your evidence um, in the threads. When it is time, you can play your evidence from the as a screen share through the Discord, or what works best on my side, because we do have the technological thing to worry about, is put the link in the chat of the live courtroom, and then I can play it for the live jury, and other folks can play it as they like as well. That way, you don't have to go through the rigmarole of sharing your screens in case your brain start to implode while we're live. Okay, how does that work for
Yes,
everyone?
ma'am.
Okay. Also,
Yep.
when it comes to opening statements, 1 minute. Okay. Um, of course, the plaintiff goes first. You do your opening statement, then which will be followed by Ike's opening statements. Then
I
the
kind of wish I would have knew that because I just wrote my whole opening statement out 5 times. I studied it.
okay. Is
I
it
will
more
try to
than
make it
one?
fast.
Is it if
I'm
it's
not
more than
sure.
1 minute? Yeah, yeah. Just try to keep it. Try to keep it in a succinct. You can take more time than a minute if you need be, but that's generally the rule. I'm not going to interrupt you in the middle of your in the middle of your opening statements.
Mhm.
Okay. So after opening statements, it will go to you, Bella, and you'll be able to craft your narrative. Now, that means tell your story, use in a chronological order, using witness testimony and your evidence. Ike, you can object. If you hear him object, wait to see the status of his
For his
objection,
objection.
why he is objecting, allow me to rule on it. There's to be no going back and forth. If you go back and forth, I will hold you in contempt. Are we clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. After you rest your case, after you've called all of your witnesses, then Ike, it will be on you to then same thing. If she objects, allow her to state her objection, allow me to rule on it, no arguing back and forth. If there's arguing back and forth, I will hold you in contempt. Okay? Once both sides have rested, you'll have closing arguments or your closing statement, after which I will take the time to deliberate. I may not issue a verdict today. I may need to go back and sit on it and then come back with a verdict. Okay. Once I issue a verdict, then we will go to sentencing. Once sentencing can be the same day or it could be the day after. So, does everybody understand the rules of the game?
Well, the clients need to be present during sentencing because this is the first time this has ever happened.
It is up to
Usually,
them, but you can also, it's up to your clients. You can, the verdict rather, not
okay,
sentencing, the verdict. Once
okay.
the verdict is handed down, I'm sorry, this is a civil trial. So once the verdict is handed down, the award, if an award exists, that will also be held at a separate hearing for you to be told how much your client is entitled to, or if they're entitled to nothing. So that will also be a separate hearing. My bad for saying sentencing. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Understood.
All right. All right. Let's get started. Counselor, opening statements is on you.
Also, can you do me another favor and unmute in the Discord so I can hear you when I'm back here?
Okay. I will not be able to unmute in the Discord too much simply because it
Okay, I can
will
actually
cause.
hear you from here now. I can actually hear
Okay,
you.
great, great.
But I'll go ahead and unmute my Discord though, so everyone can hear me.
Okay. And everyone, please remember to eat. Please remember to eat.
The Zoom call, my
I can't see my joint, so I don't know what's going on. And to remember the real world is participating in this trial and are serving as advisory to the council or to myself as the judge. Sorry, y'all. I got a drink. Thirsty. All right, let's begin.
Good evening, Your Honor, and members of the. My name is Attorney Bella Dior, here representing Nuriy. My client Nuriy has not only figuratively but literally been putting her blood, sweat, and tears into the growth of the brand known as Bean Machine Coffee, only to be treated unjustly on the same grounds that she once labored for. This case is being brought up under the California Civil Code 1714, also known as the Premises Liability Law, and the Wrongful Termination Act's Labor Codes 1102.5 and Gov Code 12900. These codes are stated as follows. Under the Premises Liability Law, give me 1 second. Okay. Under the Premises Liability Law, property owners are held liable
Can you guys hear me?
if their negligence. Did you say
Yes.
something, Your Honor?
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Apologies.
Yeah. So, under the Premises Liability Law, property owners are held liable if their negligence, act, or omission contributed to the injuries of anyone on their property or facility. 2. Employees cannot be terminated. Employers cannot terminate someone for refusing to violate policies or exerting their legal rights. In this case, my client exercised her, in this case, my client exercised her initiation right according to the City of District 10 guidelines. And 3, employers cannot terminate someone due to retaliation or discrimination. And finally, Act 4, employers cannot terminate someone for engaging in protected activities such as filing a complaint. The evidence that will be presented today will prove that both violations stand. My client, who was assisting her friend with getting his rightful refund at the time, was threatened at gunpoint by a worker known as Shay Hilton, who minutes before shot the client's friend, Chimera Links. My client defended herself during the illegal situation after she brought the situation up to her boss Dante, owner of the Bean Machine Coffee. No actions were brought to Shy Hilton. Instead, Dante passed the CCTV footage to his supervisor, Elize Castillo, and set Nuriy up to meet with Elize in his office, where Elize attempted to fatally shoot Miss Nuriy under Dante's supervision. Excuse me. It was Dante's negligence that put my client's life in danger due to him putting her in the room with a known dangerous person and allowing that same person to terminate Nuriy prior to shooting her. No one else was terminated, not Shay Hilton, not Elize Castillo, but my client, the victim, lost in both matters. The evidence as excuse me. The evidence as well as witness statements that will be presented to prove this today. So my client is suing the Bean Machine Coffee today on the grounds of wrongful termination, loss of work benefits, her personal injuries, and the legal fees totaling $1,059,500. That's my statement.
Thank you, counselor. We'll now hear opening statements from the defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening. My name's Ike Monroe, and I'm proud that. Wait. Let me. Give me 1 second, Your Honor. I'm gonna
Hmm.
unclog my ears. I'm sorry. We'll go again. Good afternoon.
Hold on one
Wait,
second,
can you
Ike.
hear me?
I got you double time here. Hold on. Okay. Let me try something here. Okay. All right, continue.
All right. You good?
Yeah.
All right. Good evening. My name's Ike Monroe. I'm proud to stand here representing Dante Foster, a man who owns a little coffee shop in this town called Beamershire. He's not a millionaire. He's not some big boss on some power trip. He's just a hardworking man trying to run an honest business, keep folk employed, and serve up some good coffee.
Mm.
Now, you're going to hear a story from the plaintiff that sounds more like a soap opera than a work issue. But the truth here is plain and simple. Ms. Nuriy showed up on the shop on the day she wasn't scheduled to work. She brought a fella in with her, walked behind the counter where she didn't belong, and got all in a situation that turned real ugly real fast. There was a confrontation not caused by Dante. He didn't even know it was coming. When the dust settled, Nuriy had shouted. A woman pointed a gun. She told him, "Do it," like this was some kind of action movie or something. It's not policy. It's not safe. And it's sure not the kind of behavior a business owner can ignore. After that, she stuck around, took it upon herself to override the worker on duty, and unlock the front door for people like she was still in charge. Dante wasn't angry. He wasn't mean. He did what any responsible owner would do. He let her go. Not out of spite, not out of revenge, but because he had to keep his team safe and his business from being turned upside down. You'll hear from folks and you'll see evidence that tells you that Dante helped her. Um, he carried her out after the shooting, the alleged shooting that you'll hear about. Um, it'll tell you that he helped her. He carried her out. He called for help, and he waited till EMS arrived. That's not the behavior of somebody with bad intentions. That's somebody who was just as shaken up as everybody else when it happened, and somebody who stepped in when things got tough. And at the end of all this, when you look at the facts and the drama, you'll see that Dante Foster and Bean Machine did the right thing, and we're asking you to see that too. Thank you.
Thank you, counselor. Counselor Bella.
Are we moving into witness?
We are. It is now time for
Okay,
witness.
so in the order that everything took place, my first witness that I would like is Chimera Links,
Okay. Chimera
and
Links.
he is going to be speaking via Zoom.
Okay. Please allow me a couple seconds to. Is he on stage at
Chimera,
this
if you're
time?
present, can you raise your?
Okay. Is the witness present?
Excuse me, yes, Your Honor. Hold on.
Okay. Mr. Chimera, if you are here, if you can raise your hand, join the stage, unmute
I'm here,
yourself.
Your Honor.
Okay, absolutely excellent. I'm going to do a sound check with you very quickly so we can make sure that we can hear you, okay?
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, can you give me a Well, let's get you sworn in. How about that? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you D10 5M gods.
I do.
Thank you. All right, you may begin.
Um,
Okay, Chimera. Excuse me, I'm sorry if I cut you off, but I want to go ahead and ask you to the beam machine today. Can you go ahead and tell the court your reasoning for showing up to the beam machine?
I was just coming to the bee machine to get my regular breakfast at the time.
And then what happened during you getting your breakfast? What happened?
I came in looking for a different a different worker there at the bean machine. I came in, I ordered 3 meals, um, which should have been $3,000. Um, as soon as I entered in, the worker, Shay Hilton, started to get very aggressive with me. Um, Ended up overcharging me for 3 meals, which charged me $6,000. Um, After she charged me, I paid. I wasn't really looking for any conflict with the person. Um, and, she gave me my meals. After I left with the meals, I looked at my receipt and I realized that the person actually did overcharge me, which is when I decided to come back to request a refund for the difference.
And you had Nuriy with you, correct?
Yes.
And what happened when y'all went back to the beam to get your?
I let Shy Hilton know that I'm not here for any kind of altercations. I'm simply coming in to request for the $3,000 difference back, which then led into the employee screaming, saying that they do know that they overcharge me, they don't care, and they will do it every time I order food, no matter what time and all. Um, Nevertheless, like shortly after, the worker pulls out a gun and decides to shoot me in my head.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry you had to relive that. Thank you, Chimera.
Okay. Counselor, are
Okay,
you?
my next.
Oh, hold on. We have to allow Ike
Oh
to
yes, yes,
stand
yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
cross-examine. Ike, you may cross-examine the witness. Ike, are you speaking?
Mm-mm.
Oh no, he's not speaking. All right, let's give him a sec. Okay. Let me just check on him in the Discord.
Can you? Oh, you couldn't hear me in here. I'm sorry.
I
Okay,
can
there
hear
we
you.
go. There we go. Now I can hear you. If you can go ahead and proceed with your questions to for cross-examination to Kyrie.
All right. Um, we actually don't have any questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Counselor, you may continue. You can bring up your next witness. Kyrie, you are dismissed.
Okay, keeping everything in that I call then
You're
to give
breaking
her
up.
account.
She's breaking.
I
She's
am.
going in and out. I can hear you.
Okay, yes.
Excuse me.
No worries. You call your
I
next
said so to
witness.
keep the flow of everything in order. My next witness to take the stand will be Nurice herself to give her statement.
Okay. Nerys, if you can please take the stand.
Also, Nurice, if you are in the raise your hand.
I sit here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you sit there.
All right. All right, so we are going to swear you in. Will let me know once you are on the stage in the live courtroom.
Nurice, if you could raise your hand.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, excellent. All right. If you can, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you, D10 and 5M gods.
I do.
All right. Counselor, you may begin with your questioning.
Okay, Miss Nurice. So to take off where Chimera left off, what did you do when you witnessed him get shot by Shay Hilton?
Okay, so Kaime had reached out to me to ask me why, like how much was the actual price of the free bags. That's why I confirmed that, free bags of 3,000. He shouldn't have been charged 6,000 for the bags. So, I said to him I could go over there with him to, speak to her because she's one of the supervisors. I'm also a supervisor. So, like Kaime said, uh, we entered. The situation happened within maybe like 2 minutes, where she shot him. As soon as she shot him, it kind of scared me a little bit, like it jumped me a little bit. So I had like ran towards before like when the gunshots let off, I ran towards the counter and she aimed the gun at me like straight away. She told me to back up, B word. She told me to back up, B word. So I backed up around back the to the main counter area. So she was still behind the counter. I was at the front. Near Kaime's body, like he was passed out. She then came around, she aimed the gun several times at me. And, I wasn't sure if I was able to, get Kaime. I was scared. I was trying to, get him up. So in defense of that situation, as, she had the gun aimed at me, when I finally got a chance to be able to take my friend out, I had, in self-defense, I had clipped her with my knife and then took my friend out and ran out the store to get him help. So that's what happened there. Um, EMS
Okay,
arrived to the
okay,
scene.
okay. Hold on now. Okay, so you took Chimera out after you neutralized the threat. You took him
Mm-hmm.
out to get help by EMS.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened after? Like after he was helped by EMS, you could go on. Actually, you could continue.
So after he was helped by EMS, we had left. We had left. So we got in the car and left. That's where that situation ended with me being involved in the situation with Shy. Um, did you want me to Can you continue or? So
Okay, I'm
after
gonna
that
ask you.
happened,
I'm gonna
mhm.
ask. Do you remember what happened?
Your Honor,
The
objection.
meeting. What?
And basis for the objection?
Relevance to the question that was asked to her. She just told a story. The question was, what did you see? What did you see happen when Camille got shot? How did you feel about what happened? She told
I
a
didn't.
whole
I
nother
didn't ask
story
her how
outside
did
of
she
that.
feel. I
Oh,
asked her what happened
go ahead.
after he was shot, and she said what happened. He was shot.
Okay.
No.
Ike, can you restate your objection?
It would still be relevance to the question. I'm hearing the story from the beginning, like before they even got to the story.
I mean,
Understood.
the story is over with now because you should have objected when
Correct.
she started telling
Well,
it.
it can still be tossed out too. I'm talking to the judge.
Okay. The plaintiff was asked her experience and what she was going through as through her eyes. I will allow it for now, overrule, but be very careful in the phrasing of the questions.
Yes, Your
So,
Honor.
okay. All right, you can continue.
Okay, Miss Nurice, and let's try to direct our answers to the questions. We have no more. But what happened? How do you recall the starting of the? What prompted the meeting that led to you being off base?
You cut out a little bit. What'd you say?
Okay, I said what prompted the meeting for you being in Dante's office? Like, how did that all go about? How did that meeting get, set up? The start of it, everything.
Okay, so on the day that the incident happened involving Shay, I sent Dante a text. When he woke up, he called me back, and I told him that I had sent him a private email, and I asked him to check it. He said he'll look at it and get back to me. After a few hours, I didn't hear from him. I deleted the footage I sent him. I did this only because I felt like he didn't care. Based on prior situations that I brought to him, he didn't kind of act on it or didn't show any interest. So the next day, I received an email from Dante asking me what happened to the footage that I sent. I called Dante and I explained that I had deleted it because I thought he wasn't interested. He then asked me to resend it, and I did. Later that day, Dante called me and asked me to come to B Machine to talk about the footage. When I arrived, Alize was already there. So this is Alize, Castillo, the manager of B Machine. She was already there waiting for me. She wasn't in uniform at the time. Alize, she then approached me. She asked me to come into the office. Dante didn't say anything. He just followed behind us. So when we all went into the office together, and Alize asked me about the footage, when I started explaining what happened and the context behind it, Alize repeatedly interrupted me, and she was coming from like a biased standpoint. She was very defensive of Shay, and she didn't allow me the opportunity to fully explain what happened or what took place. She didn't really show any concern for the misconduct. She seemed more focused on blaming me for the situation. So at one point, she began questioning me about a chain that I had wore and like what it represented. I explained to her it was a friendship chain that was gifted to me by my friend, and that a close, like intimate circle of us, we do wear the chains. I found the question quite strange because I don't feel like it had any relevance to what had happened with the situation with Shay. As the discussion continued, she cut me off and informed me that I was just terminated. So she cut me off mid-sentence and said, okay, I was being terminated. She told me if I had any questions, I could follow up with her in the email. When I attempted to speak, she kept repeating the same message and she refused to let me finish, and then she left the office. After she left, I began speaking with Dante, and throughout the entire meeting, he allowed Alize to take complete control. So I was kind of confused. That's what I was discussing with him at the time. When I was speaking to him privately in his office when Alize had left, he didn't really show any accountability in terms of he didn't really care that Shay, his supervisor, had injured a customer. Then me and him continued to speak. Again, he was as well coming from a biased standpoint, so it was difficult for me to have a conversation with him. He kept defending Shay Hilton at the time. And in the middle of the conversation, so we were still speaking, Alize then re-entered the room, and she entered the room and she interrupted me. Dante then asked me if there had been any issues between me and Alize. I told him no, there hadn't been any issues between me and her. I never had any agreement with her. I've just been doing my supervisor duties. I've been helping her with training, interviews, everything. I hired a few people whilst I was on the roll, so we never had any disagreements. That's what I explained to her and him. So when Alize entered again, so this is still while she's in the room, she just basically was trying to make the situation about her. She positioned herself as a victim, as if this meeting had something to do with her. She was taking things very personally. It was confusing to me because, like I said, me and her had never had any incidents prior. So I told her repeatedly, like the last thing I said to her was, I have no issues with her. Me and her had never had any indiscretions. We've only been amicable. And while I was speaking, without warning, she shot me in the office as I'm sitting down.
Jesus.
I'm sorry you had to relive that. Can you tell me now the aftermath after you were treated by EMS?
Okay, so EMS had arrived. So they treated my wound. They said it was a graze. So I was able to kind of remember and recall what happened. So after I received treatment on the scene, I spoke to Dante outside about what happened. He was cold. He was dismissive. He showed zero concern for my well-being. He didn't seem surprised at all by what Alize had done. Like his demeanor gave me the impression that he was kind of satisfied in a sense or pleased with her behavior.
Oh, Lord.
At no point did Dante acknowledge the seriousness of what occurred. He didn't express any concern for my safety. He didn't apologize, and he never once.
He cannot speak to how our client was feeling or felt at the time of the incident. I motion to strike her entire last statement about him.
Okay,
Sustained.
Miss Nuriy.
This is just how what
She
came across
didn't
to me.
say that's what he felt like. She said it seemed to her that that's what he was giving off.
So my
The
objection would be hearsay
plaintiff,
then.
the plaintiff cannot speak to the emotions or feelings of anyone but herself. If you can redirect the question or rephrase the question.
I mean, it wasn't the question. She would have to rephrase her statement.
All right, I'll strike that
So
last statement.
just rephrase it Nuriy, without saying how you felt.
Okay, okay. So as I was having a conversation with him, during the conversation, he did not express concern about what happened. He didn't really address it. He dismissed what I was saying. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Miss Nuriy, were there any other interactions in the beam machine after that you could recall?
Sorry. Again.
Did you have any other interactions with Dante in the beam machine after this incident that you could recall?
So we had spoke for a while outside. Then I had returned to the beam machine, and I was inside with a few other employees that still worked at the beam machine. And Dante had left. He came back with his brother, which is one of the other owners. And during our conversation, he was yelling at me in front of all the customers, as well as the as well as the employees that worked there. And he was explicitly saying that the termination had nothing to do with me.
Objection, facts not entered into evidence. The defense has not received any evidence of such a hostile interaction. Therefore, this incident has no probative value.
Does counsel have any evidence of this conversation being placed into evidence? Is this in the evidence thread?
I do have a witness who was present,
Are they on the
Your
witness
Honor.
list? Okay.
Yes, Your
All right.
Honor.
So I'll sustain.
Considering that the witness hasn't spoken yet, this information still
All right.
has no foundation and
Hold
should
on.
not be spoken on.
Hold on, JB. Let me rule. That will her sustained, but you can go into that with the witness once they testify to that. But if it is not into evidence, she cannot speak on it as of yet.
Okay.
Will this be the moment that I throw a smoking gun?
If you would like us to view a video or evidence, you can. You can take that time to do so now.
Yes, Your
Something you would like us to
Honor.
watch?
Can counsel approach the bench?
Yes. Yes, you can show video at any point to sustain the narratives. It is welcomed. Okay. All right, I'm listening.
Okay, so I have a video captured from a street cam from Miss Nuriy and Dante having a conversation outside of the beam machine with the employees present.
Was this previously entered into evidence?
It was not, but that the objection that was just called, I feel like now is the necessary time for this evidence to be presented so that my client can continue with her statement.
Does the
This
defense
evidence wasn't presented to us before.
does the defense have any objection to this being
Yes,
entered?
we don't have any kind of time to review this evidence and build a proper defense for it. So I would object that it be entered at all.
Now, as to the rules of that we laid out for this court hearing, everything had to be entered at a particular time and no additional evidence was to be entered after the 29th. If you're, I would suggest that in fairness that we keep to those rules, but if you have a witness that can speak to this, you can excuse Miss Nuri from the stand and bring that witness forward to keep the chronological integrity of the testimony in line. At which point they can speak to their experience, what they saw and heard with their own eyes, as long as it is not hearsay, which allows for the defense to raise any objection to the narrative. Now,
How will
if
that
Okay,
affect our
well,
cross for Nurice if she's coming
that's
off?
okay. Well, she's not coming off. You could actually do your cross examination. Oh, I'm sorry. You could actually do your cross examination at time.
okay. Now, remember that Nurice can be recalled back as a rebuttal witness if defense or counsel so chooses. Okay. Ike, you can now cross-examine.
Thank you, Norman. All right. All right. So at the time of the incident, you were a supervisor at Beam Machine, correct?
Yeah,
Hello?
correct.
Okay. So as a supervisor, part of your role is to de-escalate conflicts between employees, correct?
Correct.
Objection, Your Honor.
Basis?
I don't see how it is relevant that my client was the questioning, his question. I don't know what's the question.
Response?
I'm establishing her position and her position of power, her employment at Beam Machine and her position of power. All of that is relevant to this case.
Overruled. Continue, Ike.
All right. So to another of your one of your parts of another part of one of your roles is to keep customers safe and inside the store, correct?
Correct. To keep customers safe. It's not really
Okay.
in the handbook. It's there wasn't no when I was hired. There wasn't any clear indication that my job role is to keep customers safe. I'm not a security guard.
Correct. And that's yeah, I get that. That makes sense to what you're saying. But my point is being you weren't as a supervisor. You're not to bring harm to your employees. Correct. That's understood.
Subjective.
Objection, Your Honor. That question was argumentative.
I'm not arguing. Just a question.
I will
Yes, but to ask,
sustained. Ike, you can rephrase the question.
I'll strike the question. Um, you had authority over baristas like Shay Hilton, correct?
No, she was also a supervisor.
Okay. Um, So you also stated, just for the record, that you were not trained on workplace conduct and conflict resolution during your employment, or were you?
It was
Objection, Your
outlined.
Honor. Objection, objection, objection. What is the relevance
Princess,
when my client's on duty and Jay Hilton was the on-duty supervisor at the time?
I'll allow her to answer the question if it
Um,
is relevant.
it's outlined that when you are on the clock and conflict happens within the B machine, that you use the appropriate measures and call the authorities. You don't take matters in your own hands. That's what was outlined to me. So that would be your workplace conduct you're speaking of.
Hmm.
It was a yes or no question. So were you or were you not trained in that field, in that area?
I was informed.
I'm sorry.
I was informed.
So we'll take that as a yes, Your Honor. So let's talk about the day in question. You were present when Shay Hilton admitted to overcharging a customer, weren't you?
Yes.
So she acknowledged the mistake before any argument escalated.
No.
You just said she said admitted to overcharging. That's acknowledgement, correct?
In the context,
Objection,
Grounds?
argumentative.
Sustained.
you want me to continue?
The argument could have been resolved with a refund, or am I wrong? Or just a correction, correct? Right?
Yes, but that's something you should ask Shay.
I'm asking you. Uh, so instead of handling
Objection, argumentative.
it's not argumentative. That was a fact. I am asking her.
Your Honor, the defense has politely and respectfully allowed the plaintiff's counsel to ask her questions with only minimal and legally grounding objections. These
Well,
objections
excuse
are
me, but I'm
strategic and
entitled to call
tactical
objections when
and
I see any wrongdoing
disruptive.
coming from the
Order!
counsel.
Order in the court! I laid out the ground rules
I
previously.
was making an objection first.
There will be no over talking. This is serious. Everyone needs to understand what's happening. Now, let's gather ourselves. You were making an objection as
Yes, Your
to,
Honor.
okay,
The state
grounds.
is stating for the record that these objections are non-probative, disruptive, and tactitional. The defense has politely allowed plaintiff's counsel to build their case with minimal interruptions, and the interruptions that were made were legally grounding, whereas these interruptions are tactitional, disruptive, non-probative in nature.
It is counsel's right to raise an objection as long as they are grounded in um, in a space where she is defending her client as well. So far, the court finds that they are not disruptive, and this is a case. Everyone's using tactics,
I'll
so
get up there.
she's allowed to be tactical if she likes.
Your Honor, the
It's
only
part of
thing
her
she is
strategy.
objecting to is the truth. The questions have not been argumentative, they have been fact finding.
I'm
Even what you
gonna.
said
I
is an
will.
Either Miss
objection.
Norris is
I'm
allergic
going.
to the truth or
Oh, oh. I'm going to
Oh
allow it.
my goodness.
I'm going to allow her to continue to raise her objections. Should I find that they are going beyond, I will myself put a stop to it. But in the meantime, she has the right to
How we get
object
up top
in defense of her client.
Up
Now,
top to
let's
what?
continue.
to the little room shit.
Say it again.
There's like a room up there. How we get up there?
Is somebody speaking?
What?
What is that?
What room?
Who is
My
I
bad.
talking
think
like that?
someone's.
I think it's downstairs somewhere
Is
in
it
the courthouse.
ghosts? Oh,
Yeah, it's
I hear
given.
him too, Your Honor. I need 1 second. Something's going on in my dream world. Give me
okay.
one minute.
Let's take a brief recess. Five
Yes.
I
minute
do I do need
recess.
a recess as well.
Yes, let's take a brief 5 minute recess. Nuri, you can go ahead and take a step down from the stand. We will meet back here in 5
Fuck
minutes.
that shit.
All right, 5 minutes.
All right, thank you.
All right. Okay, jury, just to recap, so far we have opening statements have been done in the case of Nuri Noir against versus Bean Machine. Nuri Noir is bringing a civil suit against Bean Machine for their liability in regards to her injuries and wrongful termination. This is the case that we are hearing today. So far, we have heard from two witnesses, Kyrie and Nuri herself. We are in the middle of the testimony for of Nuri Noor. He is currently being cross-examined by Bean Machine's defense counsel, Ike Monroe, and J.B. Monroe, head of defense for District 10. Nuri Noor is represented by District 10 defense attorney, civil litigator Bella Dior. Bella Dior.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. What was that?
I was bringing the live jury up to speed. Just some details as to where we are right now.
Is this a jury? I didn't
No,
know this was a
where
jury trial.
no, where you are is not. No, no. We do. I have a real world jury, a
Oh, okay.
live
I'm
jury.
sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Yeah, it's a dream. The dreams, right? So we do have legal
Mhm.
professionals looking on to the case, and they serve as advisory to the judge. Although the decision is mine and mine alone, um, they are observing.
Okay.
Hmm.
While we're on recess, I would like to say welcome to the court, Dante.
Oh, not the
Just
shade.
showed up.
Shade.
Oh no, it was a shade. I just can't wait to question him.
Oh well, my courtroom, we love a little shade. Love a little shade. Okay. Mm. All right, we got about what, 2 more minutes? 2 minutes. We will resume at 8:15. 8:15.
Okay, 2 minutes, y'all. Look alive. Stay focused. All right, let me get back up.
Mm. Mwah. Hey, baby. Can you go to the store and get me some chicken? Go get me some hot chicken. You need some money? Oh, wait a minute. I think they can hear me. Hold on 1 second. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Oh, yep, yep. No, I was saying, what's up? What's up? What's your name? Marlon. What's up? What's up? What's your name, bro? Wait, so what? What's good, y'all? I'm Ike. I'm new here. Yeah, I'm defending main machine. My first
All
day
right,
for my
let's get
guys.
started. Let's get started. We're back.
Gotta get started back. It's good to meet y'all, boy.
Oh shit. Why am I on the desk?
Oh, this is a meet and greet for you, isn't it?
Desk.
All right, I'm here. I'm here, y'all.
Let's see. All right, please forgive me for standing on the desk, but let's continue. All right, Ike, you may
All right,
continue.
Nuriy. All right, Nuriy, can y'all hear me? All right.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So the question I was asking. So instead of
Oh,
like suggesting.
Nurice is not on the Zoom
Oh
stand.
yeah. That's okay. I would. Y'all tell me what.
Okay, I'm in there.
All right. So instead of suggesting that they handle the refund, like you allowed a civilian, Mr. Kamir Links, to argue with Shay, didn't you?
No.
So what'd you do about it?
Like I previously mentioned, when it was brought to my attention that he was overcharged, I said I would go over there and speak with her, because from supervisor to supervisor, before I could even anything could occur, she was already hostile and the situation happened quickly. So I didn't even get a chance to have a conversation with her.
Okay, and just to confirm, because it's not on the record yet, Mr. Links is not a Beam Machine employee, correct?
No, he's a customer.
Okay. And so you didn't instruct him to leave or wait outside whenever it started getting escalated? 'Cause you did bring him in,
Objection.
right?
Basis?
Objection.
Basis?
Asked and answered.
I'll
I
allow
no,
it.
I didn't ask her this question.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't
as I
know.
mentioned before, as he entered, they started having a conversation. Within, let's say, a minute, she had already shot him. There was nothing I could do.
Okay. So you stood by and watched it. Okay. So do you remember?
Yo, do I
Do you
have to
remember?
even object that?
No, we will strike that last comment as shade and from the
What did he
back.
say?
Nothing.
Don't
Oh,
worry about it. Don't worry
I
about it,
withdraw. I
Nurice.
Oh, yeah, just
withdraw the
shade, just
comment.
shade.
yeah.
I
Let's hope he
withdraw the
said
comment.
nothing.
I
Okay,
withdraw it.
continue.
Yo, relax, everybody. Order.
So do you remember? You remember crossing over the counter, behind the counter during this incident?
I remember being near the counter. Yes, behind the counter,
All
by
right.
the gates.
And so, is it true that as a supervisor, you're not allowed to let non-employees into employee-only areas?
So it's a general rule that when you're not in uniform, that you do not enter behind the counter. Yes.
Okay. And so, by entering that space yourself or allowing others to enter, you are breaking company policy, correct?
No.
But you just said that if you're not in uniform, you're not to be behind the counter. So
Based
one has to be
on
true.
the context, I would say no. So
So
this is only listen, this is only if you're not allowed behind the counter to make any coffees, make any food for yourself. If someone just simply steps behind the counter and then steps away, that's not breaking store policy, because it's not. And I have, I could continue, sorry.
okay. Yeah. So all right. So Shay was standing alone on the employee side of the counter before you got back there, correct?
Yes.
Um, Mr. Links was on the customer side while he was arguing with her.
Yes.
Voices got raised. It felt hostile in there, like from both sides, or did you only feel hostility from the which side?
I only felt the hostility from Shay.
And you didn't, as soon as you felt hostility, because in an earlier statement you told me that as soon as she walked in, she got started on her stuff. So in that moment, you didn't ask Kamir, be like, "Hey, let me talk to her. Step outside real quick."
Objection, Your Honor. He is leading. He is leading the.
No, it was a question. That's what I'm saying.
It
Did you
was
do that in that
leading.
moment?
It was leading. Sustained. Rephrase the question, Ike.
Did you direct Kamir to leave the premises when you saw?
Objection is still leading, Your Honor. It's still leading.
Sustained.
Is it?
Rephrase. Yes, it is. Rephrase.
The second you detected that there was hostility, did you jump to any kind of defense for?
Objection, Your Honor.
That's
Asked and
right.
answered.
Correct.
My
And
client said. My client stated that everything happened fast when the situation occurred.
you're correct. And
Multiple times. He's
she also
asking
gave a
the
time
same
limit.
questions and different different references. It's the
Your Honor,
same question.
in argument to the objection, she gave us a time limit after that. So I'm considering that new evidence. The reason I'm asking her again, why didn't the first 30 seconds? That's enough time to be like, hey, yo, this is on, like, step outside real
I'll
quick.
allow it, but rephrase the question. You be careful not to lead her to an answer.
Since you said that this happened within about a minute, what did you do in the first 30 seconds?
So, like I said, again, we walked in. As soon as we walked in, it happened, right? Before any conversation could even be had with Shay, she had shot him. Like, what? I'm confused. Is it hard to understand?
No, I'm just trying to establish.
I'm not a superhero. And listen, I'm not a superhero. Again, I'm outside of uniform as well. So I'm also a customer, right? So I'm not a security guard. I'm not a superhero. I want to speak to Shay privately. So that incident between them happened too quickly. I couldn't even get a chance to speak to her.
Okay. So let's talk about your termination then. So shortly after this incident, you were terminated, right?
The next day, I would say, well, when I was able to speak to the higher ups, yes.
Okay, right. Okay. So, in fact, this incident was the reason you were fired, correct?
No, that was not what was stated to me.
Okay, what was stated to you?
It was mentioned many times. The reason why I was terminated is because of the company I keep, the friends I hang around with. It was stated verbatim, but it was stated by the boss of Beam Machine that this situation has nothing to do with me and it's to do with my friendship group.
So there was no moment where Dante found that your conduct was a violation to his workplace.
No, like I said, he did not fire me directly. Initially, it was Alize Castilla.
No more questions for this witness, Sean.
All right.
Okay. My next to keep things in
Oh,
a
hold on.
flow in the order.
Hold
Oh,
on. Miss Noir, you are excused.
Thank you.
can I call up the next witness?
You may.
Okay, so to keep things going in order, in the events that they happen, my next witness will be Kimberly Possible.
Kimberly Passable, if you can please take the stand.
And Kimberly, can you raise your hand so that you could be presented on display?
You better walk. Okay. Hello, Kimberly. You may be
All right.
seated. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you D10 5M God.
Yes.
Counselor, you may begin.
Hello, Kimberly. So it's been stated that you were present during a conversation that Miss Nuriy had with Dante, correct?
Correct.
Can you tell me a bit about what you remember on how that conversation went? And tell the court.
Okay. The conversation between Dante and Nuri.
Yes,
I can't hear.
the conversation between Don. Oh, and can you raise your hand so that we could bring you on display for the Zoom call?
Yes. Can I just speak in Zoom?
Yes, you may.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I still can't hear her if she's talking.
All right. Is she able to speak within in city for us?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, yes, that's perfect.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yep, I hear you.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Counselor Dior, you may begin. Counselor, if you're speaking, I cannot hear you.
Excuse me for the umpteenth time. I'm sorry.
No
So,
worries.
Miss Kimberly, can you recall the conversation had between Dante Foster and Nuriy Noor during, like, how that conversation went that you witnessed?
Yes, I can. Um, After speaking to Nuri and a fellow coworker, we went inside the bean machine, and that is where Dante Foster and Nuri were speaking in the lobby um, for everybody to hear, kind of about why she was fired, and it was a pretty heated conversation. Um, to my understanding, it sounded like Nuri was injured in the bean machine by another supervisor at the time and was also fired following that incident. And I remember her being very upset by the fact that Dante did pretty much nothing, um, didn't escalate the matter, and also terminated her, or didn't do anything about her being terminated, I should say. Um, I remember hearing Dante raising his voice at Nuri, which was kind of upsetting to me because, you know, I felt really bad for her that day. She was a pretty good supervisor. She actually introduced me to the job. So it was pretty disheartening to hear that she was being done wrong by Dante. Um, but yeah, after
Your
her
Honor, objection, mischaracterization. Being done wrong, I think that's for the courts to decide, not this witness.
I'll allow it as it is her feeling and specific to her. Continue.
and yeah, pretty much him and Nuri were going back and forth for quite a while in front of customers and other employees. And after a little bit of exchanged words, Ante and his brother Rio brought Nuri to the back of the bean machine and had a conversation I couldn't hear. And then they came back out. Nuri was pretty upset and let myself and another employee who had just been promoted at the time, literally probably 3 hours before this incident, that we were probably fired, in which we were, just because we were kind of upset for Nuri. Pretty upsetting to hear that somebody would be fired over them being hurt in the establishment. So that was kind of a red flag for me. I spoke to Dante about being fired, and I decided to, you know, pretty much distance myself from the bean machine. For me personally, I feel like that's a dangerous establishment if they no, I was wrongfully terminated for having an opinion on the matter.
Objection, Your Honor. Facts not entered into evidence. Argumentative. False accusation. Unproved accusation.
Sustained.
Yes, I was fired that day, and I had spoken to Dante about the matter, in which he wouldn't respond to me. He actually had his brother, his co-owner Rio, speak to me and let me know that people are fired for less and that they don't I'm replaceable, and that it doesn't matter. So yeah, Bean Machine, I can truly and wholeheartedly believe Nuri and everything that she has experienced is based off of the fact that how they responded to somebody who was a loyal worker, just being upset that they were
Your Honor,
terminated.
objection. The witness is editorializing.
Sustained. Counselor Dior, are you done with your questioning of this witness?
Is free to cross-examine.
Thank you, Miss Dior. Counselor Monroe, your witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Kimberly Possible. Nice to finally meet you. We were supposed
Hi,
to talk
nice to meet
yesterday.
you. Yes, yes. Nice to meet you.
But now we finally get a little conversation in real quick.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk to you about you work there, so I'm assuming, and I'm gonna ask you since I'm assuming, Miss Possible, are you familiar with Nuriy and Camille Links, aren't you?
Yes, I am familiar with them.
So would you call you guys friends or?
I would say we're acquaintances. I mean, friends. That's kind of subjective.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
asking.
I would say we're really good acquaintances. I'm really good acquaintances with Nuri's, and I'm an acquaintance with Chimere.
Okay. Let's talk about where you were standing when this incident happened. Um, were, were you directly next to the counter the whole time?
Yes, I was. I would say in the middle of the break room and the counter, middle
Okay.
distance.
Were you able to hear every word spoken between uh the two of them?
Yes, I heard every word spoken. I do recall the conversation, and yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ike, are you talking?
Counselor, if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
Bella just asked you a question, Your Honor.
Miss Counselor Dior, if you'll need to speak in city, I'm not able to hear you.
Okay, I was asking, will I be able to re-examine this witness?
Yes, you can. That is your right. Mm-hmm. Continue, Ike.
All right, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Yeah, I'm torn between Dream World and Here World, but I'm back. I'm here.
Understood. Understood.
Okay, so, all right, so Miss Possible, you mentioned that that Nuri's claimed she did nothing wrong during that meeting, right?
I mean, she was just telling me her side of things, of what happened. From how I see it, my personal opinion, I don't believe she did anything wrong. You would have to ask her how she felt on if she did something wrong or not. I can't recall if she said that specifically that day or not.
Okay. And so you weren't taking notes, recording, or leading the discussion in the office or nothing like that for just for purposes of establishing your part in this conversation you say you heard. There's
I'm
no
sorry,
is there any proof of like notes that you took or recording or anything that you took of this conversation? Is there objection? No, I was clarifying the answer because she said she didn't understand.
If if an
Clarifying the question.
objection is being raised, I cannot hear it. Miss Dior,
Oh, I forgot you. I forgot you strictly in city.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
object. I said he's leading the witness for an answer.
And I stated that I was just clarifying because she said she didn't understand. I would have left it where it was.
I'll allow it, but tread easy. Continue.
You're questioning if I took notes or recorded that conversation that I overheard? Is that that's the question?
That's the question. Yep.
No, I didn't record or take
Right.
notes. I guess you could say I took mental notes.
Right. So your understanding of what happened in that meeting is just from overhearing.
Correct.
All right. So any opinions you shared today about what was said or meant, those are your interpretations and not official statements, correct?
It is my recollection of what I heard. I would say I'm paraphrasing what happened.
So again, yes or no, is it your interpretation or is it an official statement? It's not official statement, it's your interpretation, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. His questioning is argumentative.
I will agree. Move on, Ike. Sustained.
So the only people I don't know if I can object to an objection, but it's all right. I'm sorry, because that was I don't feel like that
Right.
was argumentative, but still just clarifying the question because she didn't answer what I asked her.
I think she did answer. She said that it was her recollection and it is her eyewitness testimony. So let's move on to the next question.
All right. I actually have no more questions. I will be calling this witness back to the stand later.
Okay.
Okay, I have one question, one additional question that was just brought to my attention. Statement that she made when answering Ike's question. So, Miss Kimberly, you did say that you can recall what the two were having a conversation about, correct? Can you tell the jury what you recall hearing?
Yes, I recall Nuri being upset that she was terminated and trying to figure out why she was terminated. And I recall Dante repeatedly telling her that it was her friends that got her in this predicament, and that pretty much shifting the blame of why she got fired onto the people that she surrounds herself with.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I'll take him down.
Oh no. Oh Jesus, help us.
Can we a brief recess?
Yes, recess, recess.
That boy
We're in
needed a
recess.
donut.
Oh Lord.
Somebody get him a drink.
Somebody get him some milk. All right. Kimberly,
Um,
you can be excused until we come back and I can get my life
um,
together as well. Oh Lord
Your
Jesus.
Honor,
Yes.
I do have a scheduled what am I gonna call this?
You have your
I,
time is limited with us. Right?
yes,
I
sorry.
I get it. I understand.
If you just
Um,
want to let Ike know to maybe question me while he can.
yes.
Um,
Um,
Oh,
Bella says
right.
she has no further questions for Kimberly after that
okay.
one question.
All right.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get Ike's volume up on this side since he's out of the courtroom. Um, Counselor Monroe, do you have any further questions for Miss Kim? I was about to call her Kim Possible. Jesus.
Um,
Do you have any further questions for Kim? Oh, it is
I
possible
do.
for Miss Possible.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do have more questions for it's gonna be like you wanted me to record those questions now for later.
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. Kimberly, can you hear him?
Yes.
And I believe the live jury can also hear now that you're out of the courtroom. Let me just double check. Okay, you can proceed.
Yeah, I'm grabbing it now. I didn't know I had to pull it up right now, but I am doing it.
Okay.
Where are they? Thank you, Bella, for helping me.
Oh, there he is. He's back. Not the crutch.
Okay, so were you could continue where you left off, Miss Kimberly, if it's okay for us to continue.
But yeah, he was repeatedly telling her the reason she was fired was because of her friends. I mean, I thought that was pretty inappropriate when I heard that.
hmm
It was kind of concerning as a employee at the time to
And can
hear
you
such things.
clarify, just for the record, who said this to her? From
Is this
from what you saw, you're saying you saw the two of them talking, and this was the conversation. Who was speaking to her?
was Dante Foster?
You witnessed Dante Foster telling the plaintiff that she was terminated because of the friends she kept.
Correct.
Okay, that was just for clarification purposes. Thank you. You can continue.
Yes. Yeah, myself and another employee were shocked to hear this conversation.
Mm.
But after not too long after that, that is when he called her back to the back room with his brother, Rio Foster. I know Nuri had explained what happened to her maybe they was just trying to clear up a misunderstanding.
Okay, hold on. Ike, are you talking? Are you
Mic's
speaking in
open.
the? Hold on. Ike, can you speak in the courtroom? I did not hear anything you just said if you were speaking, and therefore I do not understand the context of her answers. Can he hear me?
Yeah, he can hear you. He meant to speak to his client.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was. I didn't know I was on. I didn't know I was unmuted. I was speaking to Dante when I was talking.
Okay.
Pretty much Nuri was trying to explain to Dante what happened to her. Maybe she was trying to see if there was not an understanding, but it seemed like they were on the same page as to what happened to her that day she was injured. But again, Dante just kept telling her she was, she had gotten fired because she was hanging with the wrong people. But that's pretty much the conversation that I had heard.
Miss Tiara, are you done with this witness?
Well, no further questions. No further questions.
All right. Miss Possible, thank you. We
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you. You are excused.
Wait, I thought you just told me to question her for what I was gonna. I was gonna.
Oh, I thought you had finished your
This was my witness for later.
cross-examination.
No. I had a cross, but I was calling her later as a witness as well
Okay.
for
I
my
know
case.
the Miss Possible does have a tight schedule. Is it possible to question her now, or would you need
Your Honor,
to?
That's what
can
I
I
thought. That's
point
what I thought
out
we were doing.
that Mr. Dante Foster is present in the court and that he just testified that her statement is correct.
Okay. Well, Mr. Dante's not on the stand, and I haven't heard from him as yet, but I'm sure he will
He is
get
on a
his.
Zoom call.
I'm sure that he will get his opportunity to take the stand. I can't hear him, so if I can't hear him, I can't enter anything he's saying into the space, right? So, but I'm sure he'll be called to the stand, and then we can hear from him. In the meantime, I want to make sure that we
Yes, ma'am.
value
Yes,
and
ma'am.
respect Miss Possible's time. Are there any other questions from either side for Miss Possible?
Yes, to be used later in the trial, but I'll ask them now.
Thank you. You may proceed.
All right. Can you tell us what you do for work?
Currently,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'm a hairstylist, and
If I can get through my questions, she'll see it.
Remember, please, due to the technical specifications, pretty important. I need both counselors to speak in city, please. You can continue.
Okay. I keep forgetting, but I objected to his relevance. But if he want to continue, he could he could continue, even though I don't see what's the relevance of where she works now, how that has anything to do with what we're in court for today.
Well, I didn't
Noted,
understand that she
noted.
doesn't.
I'll allow it, but noted, Miss Counselor Dior. Ike, you can continue.
yes, I work
So,
at Angel Cuts
the,
as a
okay,
hairstylist, and I work at the hospital as a paramedic.
correct. That's what I was trying to get to. So you're currently employed with EMS. How long have you done that?
Probably going on 3 or 4 weeks. I believe I was hired like not too long after this incident had occurred. So I can't remember the exact date this happened, but around then, maybe 3 or 4 weeks now.
Okay. And one statement real quick. Sidebar to the relevance comment. Remember that these are questions for later for my part of the case, Your Honor. Just for the record. So the relevance won't be for right now. It'll be for later when I present my case. Because she's on the time schedule. All right. So I just need to know what the standard EMS protocols are when arriving at a scene for a gunshot wound.
When you arrive to the scene for a gunshot wound, you need to get the patient to a safe spot, check their BPM, apply chest compressions to bring them back to consciousness. That's if, their BPM is high. If their
What is
BPM
high? Just for clarification.
above 6.
Okay. All right. And so are EMS are they trained to wait until the scene is secure before they start treatment?
Yes.
Like if there's a shooting.
If there are active gunshots still going off, we do need to wait for a little while and make sure that there are no shots being fired before we enter the scene.
Okay. And just for the record, I believe you stated it, but I want it on the record. You weren't on EMS when this happened, when Nuriy got shot at B Machine, correct?
Correct. I was not on EMS. I was not working at the hospital.
Okay. Now, to your knowledge, who was present inside the building when the gunshot occurred?
Objection, Your Honor. My client, the witness was not present during the gunshot. She was present after, during a conversation with Dante and Nuriy.
Okay.
I think the witness could have told us that.
I said to her knowledge.
Sustained. Let's keep it to what she witnessed.
So you didn't witness the incident directly. Did you learn about it through others?
I learned about
Did
the
somebody tell you?
incident through
Somebody else, like did somebody tell
through
you that
Nuriy.
Nuriy got shot? Okay.
I'm sorry, repeat that. I didn't hear that. You learned about it how?
Through Nuriy.
Nuri. Okay, gotcha.
Did you see how did you get to see how Dante reacted to the incident?
How he
Objection, Your Honor.
Basis?
It's something. She was not present during the actual shooting. She was present during the conversation that Nuriy had with Dante, not the incident.
And
Your
my
Honor,
question
I
was
refute
after
this
the incident.
objection because keep in mind that due to respecting Miss Possible's schedule, we are asking defense phase questions. So these questions have yet to become relevant. Had the case taken its normal course, they would be
Y'all
relevant.
asking her about something that she did not witness. How is that
Well, we
relevant?
don't know that, and that's what we're establishing here. You said after the incident. I need to know a timeline. That's what I'm establishing here. That's my argument against the objection.
It's almost like you're
I'm
objecting
sure
to us
Dante
building
could
our
tell y'all when the
case.
timeline was. I
But
can't
I'm
go through the
asking
tape.
Kimberly
And so
Possible
can
because
this
she's
witness.
understand. I got questions for him
All
as well.
right, and y'all are starting it up. Don't do it.
Um,
I'll allow her to answer the question, but be easy. Overruled. Do not ask
I,
her about something that she was not there to see in person.
yes, I was
Your Honor, they
not.
just said she was there after the incident.
I
That's why
was
I asked her about.
not there after the gun went off. I was there for when after the math, when Nuri had come out the hospital and she came to the beat machine to have a conversation with some fellow or ex-employees of hers, which would have been me and Franklin. And then I witnessed her conversation with Dante in Rio. But I was not there for any shooting. I was not present.
Okay. What was your role at the beam machine when you was there?
I was a crew member. I would make meals, coffee, boba. Yeah, that was my role. Making food and cash register.
Okay. And you mentioned over here in this conversation between Nuriy and Dante, do you recall whether the conversation was calm or did it like use raised voices or an argument?
The conversation began cordial. It was, I don't know if I would describe it as calm, but it was level-headed in the beginning, until Dante had raised his voice. You could say yell at Nuri for a moment. I believe that escalated the conversation a bit, but kind of went back down to level-headed, and then they proceeded to go to the back rooms, which I could no longer hear.
Got
Tone.
So did you personally hear Dante make any threats or retaliatory statements towards Nuriy during that conversation? The one you
Objection.
heard.
What is the relevance of that question?
You'll see later in the trial, I promise.
I'll allow it. Overruled.
Did I hear him threaten her in that conversation?
Yeah, threaten, even if it was just her job, like threaten her in any way or make any kind of retaliatory statements, like retaliate in any kind of way.
She was already fired prior to that conversation. So no, he did not threaten her job because he already allowed her to be fired. I didn't hear him threaten to punch or shoot anybody. No, I don't believe I heard threats.
Okay. Were you ever told by Dante or any other management that you were being terminated for taking Nurys aside or anything like that? Were you verbally told that?
I was told by Nuri to check to see if I still had a job after she finished speaking to Dante. When I checked to see if I had a job, I was jobless. And I had called Dante, in which he would not speak to me on the phone. He actually directed me had me on speakerphone, and had his brother speak to me, in which they would not even tell me why I got fired. He pretty much was saying, we could have a conversation later, in which I responded, I was pretty upset. I mean, why would I want to talk to somebody who just fired me and they're not even explaining to me? That conversation got escalated, and he told me that they pretty much fired me because we were discussing how we felt about the Bean Machine outside of the Bean Machine. I was really expressing empathy towards Nuri, and I might have mentioned that, pay at the Bean Machine wasn't the greatest, but despite that, I still loved working there. And Dante and Rio ran with that and decided that was good enough reason to fire me, and told me on the phone they fire people for less and that I was replaceable.
Yeah.
So pretty upsetting and pretty unprofessional. I couldn't really tell you exactly why I was terminated. I don't understand it personally.
You're right. Let me rephrase. You weren't told that you were fired for taking Nurys aside.
I wasn't given a reason at all, really.
Okay. So, had you seen any of the footage or reports regarding this incident before or after being contacted about this case?
I'm sorry, repeat that for me.
Have you seen any of the footage or reports regarding all of this that we're talking about before or after being contacted for this case?
I have not.
Okay. And just one last question for you. Do you believe, based on your EMS training and your time working at the Bean Machine, that Dante Foster created an unsafe environment, or he failed to follow any kind of proper procedure the day of her shooting?
If he was present when the conversations were being escalated between any supervisors, I believe he created an unsafe work environment if he did not de-escalate that situation, or talk to the woman who had a gun, who was supposed to be a supervisor and was supposed to maintain professionalism.
He's asking her about things that she would have no knowledge of. She was not a supervisor at the beam machine.
It wasn't based off her beam
Your
machine
Honor,
employment. That's based
he is
off her EMS
asking
training.
One at a time.
he is asking
Oh,
about
I asked her about based on her EMS training and how the incident went. Nurse was shot. Dante carried her out, waited with her, and received EMS training or
He wasn't
EMS
there when I
treatment.
was shot.
Oh, I didn't ask her. I said, based on your EMS training at the time of your work, with this information, do you believe that he created an unsafe work environment, or did he follow proper procedure?
I believe he created an unsafe work environment.
Since
No
she's
further questions,
already,
Your Honor.
all right, well, she already answered it, so I'll allow it.
Yeah, she good.
All right. Counselor Dior, is it safe to excuse Miss Possible from the stand?
She could go. I don't want to hold no more of her time. I'm
Oh,
ready to call my next witness.
all right. Miss Possible, thank you. We appreciate you. You are
Thank you,
excused.
Your Honor. Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye, Kimberly.
Thank you for your time.
She better walk.
Okay, Your Honor, I would like to call Ashanti Powers to the stand.
Thank you. Ashanti Powers, can you please step forward and take the stand? Is there an Ashanti Powers present?
She was just here.
Yeah, she was just here. And I'm not sure if I see Jabari in the stand, in the crowd,
Okay.
or on the Zoom call at all. Or Shiloh. I do have a character witness present if he's willing to testify. I'm not sure since he stated that he was promoted earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashanti just raised her hand, so she is able to speak on the Zoom.
All right. That's perfect. Let me switch over.
Hello. Y'all hear
Hello.
me? Hello.
I can. Hello, Ashanti. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for asking. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do this way. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you, D10 5M gods.
Oh, I swear. I swear.
Let us begin. Counselor Dior, your witness.
Hello, Ashante. So I want to ask you about a conversation that you had with Dante
Oh,
after
girl, you cut.
the incident. I want to ask you about a conversation that you had with Dante Foster after the incident. Do you recall that conversation?
Yes. And you have the evidence of that conversation, right?
But
Okay.
unfortunately, what y'all sent to me was unable to be used because he had no knowledge of himself being recorded. So can you recall how that conversation went?
Oh, okay. All right. So basically, the conversation that he had no knowledge of being recorded was basically a conversation that me and him had, and basically the whole conversation just went with him just taking the side of Shea Hilton and fucking Alizé and what else? Sin, whatever, I don't know her full name, but listen, all the Beam Machine employees that stood over here and do what he thinks that Nuriy did, they're really doing. You know what I'm saying? I was literally confronting him about that. That's how the conversation went. I was confronting him. I was saying,
I have
object.
an objection.
Basis and grounds for objection.
I motion to strike the entire testimony of this witness as to this conversation. So by nature, this is hearsay. So through testimony just now said by the witness, which cannot be objected to, I'm quoting them. She said she is reciting a conversation that happened between Nuriy and someone else who is not her. This I am still objecting. I'm still in the middle of objecting. I still haven't finished my objection. I'm still stating the grounds of
One
my
at a
objection.
time. One at a time.
The grounds of my objection are that she is recalling a conversation that happened between Nuriy and a third party, right? And Your Honor, I am still stating that.
I can only hear JB. If someone else is talking, I cannot hear. But I
I
do
said
need it.
objection, Your Honor. That is not what I said. That is misstatement of
I
evidence. What I
haven't
said
even
was
gotten my
Ashanti
objection
Powers
out.
is here
All
to
right.
recall a
Your Honor, this
conversation
is
held between Ashanti
improper
Powers and Dante
conduct. I am
Foster
still
after the
stating my
incident.
objection,
That is what
and
I
my
said.
objection is being overspoken by another objection that you have not ruled on because I have yet to finish it.
I just objected your objection because you're misstating evidence.
One at a time.
I'm quoting your witness, so is she misstating evidence?
One at a time. JB,
Miss
finish.
Ashanti had a
So,
conversation
Hold
with
on, hold
Dante.
on, hold
She's
Your
on.
telling
Honor,
how
if
the
I
conversation with Dante
Don't
went.
so Your
do it.
Honor, if I can,
Don't fresh Mitch at both of you.
Your Honor, I was objecting. I have the ground. I have the floor.
Both of you. I need you to go one at a time.
Right.
I don't
So
want
I was
anybody
saying,
getting frustrated. Remember, we're all on the
I
side of.
object. I object her
Hold on.
objection, Your Honor.
We're all on the side of justice, but we must respect each other. Let JB finish what she's saying, and then I'll listen to your objection. JB, finish your sentence. Start from the top again.
so Your Honor, you have the best ears in the room, and I'm sure you heard what the witness said better than I did. So with that being said,
Wait, what did I say?
the witness through her own testimony stated that she is quoting a conversation that happened between a third party who was unaware he was being recorded in Nuriy. She was not part of this conversation. Now, she also stated that this third party was reiterating a conversation that he had with this witness to Norris. So, by that logic, this entire testimony as to whatever that third person said is hearsay and shouldn't be spoken on.
Objection, because that's misstatement of evidence. That is not what I said, and that is not what she said. The conversation that she is speaking on is a conversation that she herself had with Dante Foster, Your Honor.
I
Your Honor,
understand that was that's what I also heard, that this was a conversation between herself and Dante Foster. Is that witness, is that correct? This is a conversation between yourself and Dante and not any other person?
Not any other person, Your Honor. I was having a conversation with Dante Foster. So I don't know what the other girl talking about.
This is a first person recollection. It is allowed, overruled. You may continue.
And Your Honor, I do have something aside from this. But
wait, can I continue, or did you tell her that she continue?
You're good to continue, but I just wanted to say something really
All right,
quick.
so I'm gonna continue. All right, so boom.
Miss Powers. Miss Powers.
No, this is a non-court related thing. I'm going out of body here. This is a court. Like, this is a Rasta Pasta court. So people inside of the chat calling people out of their name, calling them bitches and stuff like that, it is completely inappropriate. I will be reaching out to the government to have your messages deleted and to have you timed out. You can comment about the case, that's fine, but calling people out of their name is completely inappropriate. Get it together. We're grown.
Get it together, y'all.
Yeah, let's maintain our dignity, please. Please, please, please.
Exactly.
We're all grown. Please
Anyways, let's get back into the Rasta Pasta.
Okay, let's have
Oh,
that
listen, right?
body.
Please,
So yeah,
okay.
so
Hold on, everybody. Before we get back into the Rasta Pasta, remember, please maintain your damn dignity. It is Black History Month every month.
It's Pride Month.
Every month is Black History Month. Every month is Maintain Your Dignity Month, every second. Let's act like we have decorum and sense. The world is watching. Now, Miss Bella, I'm sorry, Miss Ashanti Powers, in this courtroom, the attorneys have precedence. You have to respond when you're asked a question, and only then. You cannot speak out of turn.
All right, can I continue, Your Honor? Not to cut you off.
You'll be able to continue once the counselor asks you a question. Okay?
Okay.
All right. That way
so
we are
Miss
able to
Ashanti,
maintain order. Ms. Dior, you may continue.
Okay, so Miss Ashanti, you can
Yeah.
can you start over and just reword everything, but tell exactly what the conversation that you and Dante had was?
Okay. All right. So, like I said, I was having a conversation that Dante did not know that was recorded. I was having a conversation with Dante, and basically, where I was just trying to ask him, like, okay, why do you only see that Nuriy is wrong, and why don't you see that your other employees can do wrong as well? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're really on the topic of wrong, and I'm not gonna lie, the whole time he just was like extremely biased about Nuriy. It's like this whole time he had some sort of vendetta, or I don't know, he had some sort of animosity with Nuriy. Every time I would bring up anything that his employees have ever done, he'll be like, yeah, that happened, but Nuriy, she did this, that, and the third. I'm like, but Dante, like your employees, like they be on some crazy stuff too. He don't even want to talk about it. Like I don't understand what his issue is with Miss Noor, but he has an issue with this girl, and you know that he got an issue when he ain't even do nothing when Alizé shot her. Yeah, he also admitted that the supervisor shot Nuriy. So, but and y'all got that in the evidence, but you can't use it. But yeah. Your objection doesn't matter.
I didn't hear any objections.
Ike was
I'm making an
objecting.
objection right now, and
Okay,
I don't like the badgering from the witness understanding either.
I'm sorry. I'm
Um,
really just upset right now.
I understand that. I'll just make my statement. My objection is hearsay. You can't say she can't speak to Dante having issues with anybody. Dante can only speak to who he has issues with.
sustained.
I wouldn't say it's hearsay, but it was sustained. Can you rephrase how you're giving your recollection, Ashanti, and please try to remain level headed.
Okay.
Rephrase.
Okay, so let me rephrase it a little bit better. So, like I said, I asked Dante multiple times about the wrongdoings of his employees, and he knows about their wrongdoings. But every time I'm like, okay, so why does Nuriy have to take fault for whatever you think that she did is wrong? He wouldn't never have an issue.
This statement now. To the case is a wrongful termination of Nuriy and personal injury suit.
Very relevant. This is very relevant because, as
My
stated,
objection is standing.
you're trying to say that Beam Machine was not at liberty for my client being injured when Dante
Correct.
knowingly put her in. When Dante knowingly put her in the presence of a dangerous person who shot her during an employee meeting. Mind you, the person that shot her was not in uniform during the meeting. So he allowed another customer to shoot Nuriy, which is why her statement is relevant.
Your Honor, I'm not going to go back and forth with her, but she cut me off on my objection. I said that this statement right here, this witness was not part of the meeting where Nuriy got shot. Nor what she's talking about is relevant to what he's being sued for today. If there's another issue, they need to open a case on that. But that issue is not this issue that we're talking about today.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
I'll allow it. I find that it is relevant to the situation and provides additional context as to the atmosphere of what was happening at the Beam Machine at the time and how it was affecting everyone involved. So, under that circumstance, I will allow it. But remember to temper your answers. All right.
I'm sorry.
No
Yes,
worries.
Miss Asante. Try not to be just
okay.
Remain
you know
level.
what? I'm gonna try to remain calm. I'm so sorry, court. It's just like the whole concept of this whole entire thing is overwhelming because my friend needs justice. So, like I said, let me try to reword it a little bit better this last time. Now, like I said, I had a conversation with him, and like I said, he was being around the bush. He didn't want to talk about the things that his employees did. He would just only want to talk about the things that Nuriy has done. He literally kicked everything that they did to the curb and will only talk about Nuriy. Therefore, I feel like there's some sort of animosity between Dante and there's some sort of animosity between Nuriy.
That's the part where you get yourself in trouble.
That's the part? Okay, well, that's just y'all can call it how you see it or call it how you want, but like I said, he would never take accountability from any other employee's actions, because obviously they still are working there. You can literally ask him. They still work there, but you see, the only person that doesn't work there
That is
is
true.
Nuriy. So I feel like actions speak louder than words. He never fired any of them other people that we're talking about here today and that we have evidence on here today. They're
Your
still working
Honor,
there.
I reject on the
So
grounds of misinformation.
I'm just
There
trying to
were
prove my
others
point
that
if
were
I can't
filling
make the
away.
statement.
Ashanti, let her object.
Okay.
Let her object.
There were
Let me do my job now.
so
You can cut.
I object on the grounds of misinformation. Miss Noir was not the only termination that stemmed from that incident. They may not have been terminated at your behest, but they were terminated after an investigation.
Your Honor, only
Rebecca?
Elize was terminated after the settlement was brought to Dante's attention.
After the investigation was complete.
Try to cover it up.
A retaliation, where she could also, if she wants to come forward, get a wrongful termination.
Relevance to the argument now. We need to get back to the question of the witness.
I'll allow the witness's personal observations to be allowed. Let's continue.
Any more questions? Miss Bella.
No further questions at this time. You may be cross-examined by the other counsel.
You have any questions,
Okay.
Mister?
All right. Mr. Monroe, your witness, cross-examination.
Hello, Mr. Monroe.
Oh shit. I was muted. My bad. I'm torn between Dream World and here again. My bad.
We got you.
What's your question, Mr. Monroe?
All right. So you said Dante doesn't take accountability for other employees' actions.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? Because I'm not understanding why it would be his job to take accountability for what they did, but maybe just step in and do something about what they've done if it has something to do with his business. So can you elaborate on what you mean by taking accountability for others' actions?
Yeah, so like I said, whatchamacallit, I'm pretty sure you have it on file as it was presented by Miss Bella Dior. Miss Dior, she had said that there was a previous physical altercation where Shay Hilton was involved, aiming guns and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure if it was talked about, you probably have evidence on that, correct? We don't speak about allegations. So you have evidence on Shay Hilton doing crazy stuff with the uniform on, but that person still works there. So it's just like I said, I had a conversation with Dante and I brought that up and he literally kicked it to the curb, but it's also wrapped around what he thinks Nuriy is doing wrong. Why is this person getting fired and shot? And this person that is aiming guns at people that you have record of still working there. That's what I mean by taking accountability.
So all right, so you're positive that Dante's not doing anything about it actively, or is it something that you just can't see
actions
him
speak louder than words.
I didn't finish my
Mr.
question.
Membro.
I didn't finish my question, Miss whatever your name is.
And my name is Ashanti Powers. All right, it's Powers.
Not too much. Not too much.
We gonna if we're gonna keep it respectful, we will. Because I walked up here and I was respectful. I'm asking you questions calmly, but we can go there.
Not too much.
Were you threatening me, Mr. Monroe?
No, I'm not threatening nothing.
Okay.
I'm just stating what I'm saying.
I think this when you bang the thing and say order.
I was kind
of order in the court.
I was enjoying the shade for
Mr.
a second,
Monroe.
but you're right. Order. Let's continue. Not too much on each other now. Monroe, ask your question.
All right. So back to my question. You say he wasn't doing. You're positive that he's not actively doing anything about it, let alone
no.
He doesn't have to.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to let information out on investigations that he's doing on his own as the owner of a business. A low level employee or even a manager may not know about an investigation going on. So my question again to you is: are you positive that Dante's not doing anything about what you're talking about?
Yes, and can I say something to add on to your question? This is a what kind of court case is this, Mr. Monroe?
I'm not
Hello?
understanding your question. I'm not
What
going to be a
kind of
question
case is
here, bro.
this? What
This is
kind
a
of
civil
case
case.
is this?
I'm not
Okay.
going to be questioned, but I will
Wrongful
answer your questions.
termination. Wrongful termination, correct?
Your Honor,
Wrongful termination. Let
officials
me
treat
say
this
something. Hold on. I'm not
witness as
done
hostile.
answering.
All right.
I'm not done answering. I'm not done
Okay,
All
answering.
right. Hold on.
Listen,
I
can
need
I answer the question?
respectfully. I need you to answer the question.
I will answer the question respectfully.
I
All
like
right.
you. I like you. I like you. I love the
Okay.
feistiness. Don't get me wrong. I F's with it. Heavy. Heavy. But in the spirit of
Mm-hmm.
keeping things moving along, just answer his
Uh-huh.
question. Just answer his question.
I will
Monroe,
answer your question, Mr. Monroe.
let
So
him
you said,
let him rephrase
oh,
it. Let's start again.
go ahead.
Monroe, ask your question.
And Your Honor, may you please kindly remind the witness that she is a witness. She's permitted to answer questions and not
Ooh,
ask them.
she is right. She is correct.
My bad. I was asking a smart question. I
Yes,
shouldn't have did that.
please refrain from asking counselor any questions. Mr. Monroe, your
Okay.
question, please.
Have have you ever seen Dante physically or verbally assault anybody in this workplace?
I was not your
Dante himself.
question.
Now I'm asking now because
But
you
I
argued
wanted
with
to
me.
answer the other question. Why are you asking me a whole new one?
Ma'am, you have to ask
Because
you have to answer
Okay.
the question he's asking.
Okay.
Monroe?
Have I ever seen Dante verbally or physically abuse someone? That's what you said?
in the workplace, yes.
No. Why? I don't work there.
Just my question. I mean, you have a lot of information on if everything else he did, so I'm asking
Oh,
that question.
Okay, listen, I
So
don't work there.
okay, I'm
So I
understanding.
don't know what you want me to
So
say. I don't work
just
there.
answer my
Monroe,
questions. That's all I
move
want
on
you to
to
But
your
do.
next question because she's very feisty.
So,
So move on to your next
okay, and
question.
now, Your Honor, you know how I am.
Hmm.
You've had disagreements with Dante in the past. You
no, I
personally,
have not, Mr. Monroe.
and you never worked for him. You've never worked for him. I know you don't work there, but you've never worked for him.
Never worked for
Boogie,
him. Never had situations with him in the past that were negative. Why you think that he was so comfortable sitting over here talking to me
Mm.
Boogie,
when
please
I was
check your DM,
recording?
please. Judge Boogie,
I'm sorry,
So,
say that
what
again.
you,
please check your DMs.
Okay. Continue, Mr. Monroe.
have you ever been in the presence of Dante whenever he was making decisions about his staffing and his discipline that he was doing?
Uh,
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. Can we please ask
Basic for
questions
the.
pertaining to her statement and not
right.
anything that she
Thank
would have
you.
no knowledge of?
All right.
And
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
ready to
Let's do
move
Whoa,
this.
whoa, whoa.
on.
Okay, let's do this. We're going to take a short recess. 5 minutes.
No.
5 minutes. Let's everybody recalibrate. Miss Dior, please instruct your witnesses on proper witness core. Maybe we can get her to come in the room.
Your
But
Honor,
let's say it together.
I don't believe that we
Judge,
need a
how long is
witness.
this
I
going to
think
take?
through these
Because
questions,
Uh,
counsel is
I have
establishing
like
she
other
stated that
priorities.
he did
Can
nothing in way of discipline or investigation. That was her words. And through this relevant questioning, we are establishing she has not worked there, she never has worked there, and she would have no knowledge if he did or did nothing. Which, of course, I can
Correct.
understand why
well,
counsel would
these
want
are
to
the
avoid us reaching that conclusion.
council is the one
he
He
asking
gotta
told me
so he
himself.
questions
gotta
of.
ask her like
Hold
50 of
on,
the
hold
same
on,
questions just to
hold on.
establish that? Like,
Council is the one asking her the question, so she's responding. We will take a recess and we will be back in 5 minutes. Everybody gather, get your collective shit together, and let's come back and move forward. All right? All right.
JB, the keyboard. JB, Jesus. Lord have mercy. All right. Okay, guys. Okay.
Like you can't come to court musty.
Oh. Okay.
You guys so much for coming. This is crazy. You look so good.
Hi, guys. Oh, wrong room. Sorry. Shit, we already upstairs. What she wanna go? I'm coming, treasure. Hold on. Let me see.
Okay. Girl. I'm over here trying to like boogie.
Where? Wait, where you at? Hold on. My eyes are still open. Hold on one second.
Please mute them before
Hold
we
on.
proceed any
Okay,
further.
let me leave this. Let me leave the courtroom. Okay. Oh, you pulled me into chambers. Okay. All right. Do you want me to? Damn, I don't. Okay. My live courtroom is still open, so they're able to hear us. Is that okay?
Uh girl, turn the mics off so they cannot hear nothing.
Okay, hold on one second. All right, real world, you guys will be able to see me, but I don't think you'll be able to hear me. I know, y'all. Stop complaining.
Can you hear me? Girl, I was told to sit here and bring you here. Storm, go ahead. There's a
What
lot
do
of
you
things.
mean, Storm? Go ahead, dude.
Ma'am, I'm just following what I'm told, okay?
Do you do? Wait, they can still hear us.
They can hear us?
Just stream.
Guys, apparently y'all can still hear us, so I'm gonna have to end the stream. Everybody stand by. We should be back live within about 5 or 7 minutes, all right? R3D, please keep everybody gathered if you can, somehow, some way. Or once we go live, keep an eye on the notifications. I know, Kaylee. I'll be back. This is important. Harlem Rose, R3D, sir,